everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the podcast where all pro wrestling matters. I am Bill Yankovic, joined as always by Fro. How you doing, Fro?
Fro, no last name. That's my last name.
Exactly, Fro, no last name.
Mm-hmm.
We have a really good program here this week because we are going to review NXT Takeover Portland. Plus, we're going to get into week 2 of Wrestling with Politics. And we are also going to talk about the Masked Singer from this week, which was a fun week to watch.
Ooh, really fun.
And a whole lot more to go into.
It's a whole lot to love. I'm so lost without you.
So, let's get started in the news. And this story has taken a life in its own because last week on Dynamite, as everyone knows by now, Nyla Rose won the AEW Women's Championship from Riho, making her the second woman to ever win the title. For those who don't know, Nyla Rose is transgender, which means, in this case, that she was born a male but decided to become female. Well, one former WWE superstar had a bit of a problem with that. And it's not a big name. Well, it is a name, but it's not a huge, megastar name. It's Val Venis. So he goes on to the Twitter and talks about how this is ridiculous. He gives a black eye to professional wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Then, for no reason whatsoever, Rebby Hardy gets involved. Because God knows we need Rebby Hardy to get involved in this. So she talks some stuff and basically says, hey, Val Venis, you're a dumbass. Val Venis later put up a new catchphrase saying, hello, regular ladies. Which is not that good of an idea. Nyla Rose took to Twitter. It really didn't bother her whatsoever what Val Venis said. Rebby Hardy asked people to donate to a charity for transgender people. First off, I would donate to charity if I was not told by Rebby Hardy. Secondly, I think Val Venis, at first, I understood where he's coming from, but I think he went over the line, in my opinion. And Nyla Rose did fantastic, handling the situation, because this is a whole different age, and I think, whatever you are, whoever you are in your body, that's who you should be, and you should be fine and happy about it. So, yeah, Val Venis being in the news. When's the when will we ever talk about Val Venis again? That's the question everyone wants to know.
Hopefully a very, very long time till we talk about him again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly stupid to say something like that. And it is extremely insulting as well.
And here's a guy in Val Venis who is pro-marijuana. Because I have him on a friend on Facebook. He is pro-marijuana, but anti-transgender. Think about that. One doesn't go with the other. Really doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Just it's a little weird.
It's just like incredibly stupid.
It is. It really is. the ratings came in for this week's AEW and NXT, and once again, AEW defeated NXT in the ratings. AEW had 893,000 viewers. NXT had 794,000 viewers. Of course, the key demographic is the 18 to 49, and AEW is on fire with that. They just have been non-stop, really, since they came back from Christmas break. And they had a really good show this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had a fantastic... AEW had more... I'm not going to say neither show was bad, but AEW was so much better.
Yeah, I think AEW hit it out of the ballpark this week. It is not a contest, even who is the best show of the week.
Right.
I mean, NXT was good. Don't get me wrong.
Was. But AEW was just boom, you know?
Boom out of the park.
Yeah, everything just came off great this week.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're only a week away from Revolution, which we'll talk about on next week's show. They got a pretty solid card going for that one. But NXT, which we'll talk about a little later, they had a really good show as well on Sunday night. So.
Mm-hmm. And I can now tease that Bill will not be alone in his Saudi Arabia recap.
Yes. For those of you that were wondering, because we had talked about it off air, because originally, if you remember from last week when we promoted the Patreon page, which you guys could still join, you guys can always join.
And you should join because there's a show up there already.
Yes. Guys, you will get your money's worth for at least $3, which is the top tier. We did a half-hour review of NXT TakeOver where we didn't say anything about CBS, we didn't say anything about ESPN. It was just us talking about the show, what we liked, what we didn't like. I thought it came off really good, and next week, because I think it's safe to say we're not going to review it here on the live, on the actual show.
It's going to be very exclusive.
Very exclusive.
Exclusive.
I mean, it's so exclusive that you need a membership card to join up. That's how exclusive it is.
A $3 membership card.
$3. That's all. And you can do it more if you want.
I decided to be a trooper and watch the Saudi Arabia show just for the patrons. I'm just doing this for the patrons.
Yes.
I'm not doing this because I want to.
Exactly. And of course that is Patreon, patreon.com/That Wrestling Show. And we'll plug it again at the end of this week's episode. Yes, absolutely.
Now.
Absolutely. There's a rumor going around, and I saw this today on Facebook, a lot of wrestling posts about this. It looks like it's not a conclusion, but it's getting there. Because Vince McMahon decided that he wanted to make a deal for his pay-per-views to be streamed on other places. Well, right now, according to Wrestling News, ESPN and WWE are close to a deal for WWE pay-per-views. And I'll read a little bit here. In a move that might make a lot of fans unhappy, WWE and ESPN are reportedly closing in on a deal. As some may know, WWE has been shopping streaming rights to their pay-per-views. The deal would see WWE give the rights to ESPN to air their pay-per-views rather than on the WWE network. Although the specifics weren't noted, it's possible that they could require fans to purchase ESPN Plus's monthly $4.99 subscription service along with a pay-per-view price of the show. UFC pay-per-views are currently an additional $65 per event.
This is so freaking stupid.
It is.
The network is going to bleed out.
Yep.
Nobody will be interested in the network anymore.
I mean,
that was the number one thing that people bought the network was
the pay-per-views.
Because they couldn't get the pay-per-views anywhere else.
Exactly.
This was bleed them freaking empty. It is so incredibly stupid if they do this.
I mean, the thing here, because I do have ESPN Plus.
Right.
Because I am a sports fan. I think you guys know that right now. I actually do not purchase UFC fights because I'm not into UFC. I think if they did it, I think I'd have to do it. I would have to pay for it just as long as it's not a ridiculous price. Like, I mean, because $65 for a UFC pay-per-view, I think is too much.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, they're going to lose a lot of subscribers if they go through with this. I mean, I'm going to stay on because I like to watch a lot of the retro stuff, but it's like, at that point, what is the purpose of the network?
You know.
I mean, it's like, oh, I got the WWE Network. What do you watch? I watch the pay-per-views. Oh, you mean the ones that were on ESPN? What do you mean?
Right.
But no, it's just because I knew they were. I read a couple weeks ago that Vince was thinking of trying to get somebody. I know Amazon Prime was a candidate, but I think because they have such a good relationship right now with ESPN, with not only when they cover WWE events and also with the XFL, Vince is probably feeling comfortable that hey, these guys are going to make sure that our shows, our pay-per-views are top-notch quality. And we don't even know if it's like all the pay-per-views. That's the other thing. Because if it's all the pay-per-views, then yeah, the WWE Network is screwed. Royally screwed.
Yeah, no, this is one of the most stupid things I have ever heard in my entire life. It is just so incredibly stupid.
I actually did ask a question on a Facebook group, and they said that it would be only for the Big Four. So it would be Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Still, though, it's just what... I mean, I'm probably still going to be loyal and stick with the network because they do have a lot of good, nostalgic stuff on there. So, but still, it's not a good... I agree with you. It is not a good business decision whatsoever. Speaking of business decisions, let's talk about this week's Masked Singer.
Yeah, very good. They are making this harder for me because I have so many people in this group I know absolutely not who is. I have absolutely no clue.
But before we go on, I believe you and I owe an apology to our listeners.
Why?
Because for the last few weeks, we had talked about how the mouse was Paris Hilton.
Yes, it's not.
And after that first performance, it is 100,000,000% sure it is not Paris Hilton. So we apologize.
Yeah. I will tell you who we will apologize to because that's actually one of the few I know who is. But let's go through it. Frog sang You Can Touch This by MC Hammer. Elephant sang Friday I Am in Love by The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty sang Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande. Taco sang Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra. Mouse sang Get Here by Oleta Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Banana sang A Little Less Conversation, A Little Less Rock This Blues by Elvis Presley.
Yes. I have to say, I thought even the one that got eliminated, I thought they all brought their A game for this first round.
And I got so confused because when he sang, I was like, that sounds like it's someone English.
Mm-hmm.
He sang it like someone that was British. Right. I was so confused. Anyway, so the elephant went out.
Yep.
And the identity was Tony Hawk and sing?
I know,
really?
right?
I was like, wow.
I do have
Tony
to say,
Hawk.
though, that elephant mask might be my favorite mask I've seen so far in The Masked Singer of the 3 seasons.
Oh, definitely.
Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. I was like, damn, if he is good, if this person's good, maybe we'll get to see him for a while. But Tony Hawk was funny because he was like, thank you guys for eliminating me. I only had one more performance left in me. So,
right. So, here's my guesses.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Bow Wow.
Is for the frog?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to disagree with you. I think it is Michael Johnson, the track and field Olympian for the United States. And the clue that got me was the 1996 Summer Olympics.
Right.
So that's my guess for right now.
Kitty, what do you have there?
I have no idea. But the
I have absolutely no clue.
But here's my thing.
Right.
There's one clue that I noticed that people should pay attention to. The kitty's eyes. They are a mixed color. She's got one eye brown, one eye blue.
Yeah.
So
I think she's mixed race. That's why I'm thinking.
It's either mixed race or she has 2 different color eyes. So
right.
I have no idea for Kitty. I think Kitty was the best performance this week.
I agree. Taco, I have a guess. Okay. But I will hear you first.
I don't know. I know one of my coworkers thinks it's Seth MacFarlane, which, hey.
No.
That's just a guess. It could be a comedian. I think it has to be somebody short. I just don't know.
Right. I have a sneaking suspicion because of the clues that was kind of like the videotapes and all like that.
Charlie in that?
Right. And things like that. I think it's Tom Burson.
Tom Burson?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
From American's Funniest Home Videos.
That would be interesting. That really would.
Yes. That's who I think it is.
The mouse, I'm going to take a wild guess on this one.
Okay. I'm super excited to hear this.
I think it might be Gloria Gaynor.
No, it's Stan Warwick.
You really think so?
Yeah, I think actually the panel. Who said Stan Warwick on the panel again?
I think it was Nicole.
I think it was Nicole as well. I think Nicole is 110% correct. It sounded like Diane Warwick.
Right. And finally, let's talk about the banana.
No clue.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Absolutely no clue.
I have to hear the banana's next performance or see a clue.
I mean, I read some, like, I'm doing more preparing for this than other things, but, and it is very like it is very good, and I like his voice. I was thinking that because of the voice, it could be Bret Michaels.
I'd have to listen to the voice again.
But it's like, yeah, it's super out there. I mean, he's been on Rock of Love, and there was a lot of like the rose there was clue to like,
because of his biggest song, Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Right. Yeah. So I was thinking that, and the cowboy hat also fits kind of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Good call, Fro.
Bret Michaels, but it's pretty out there. Like I said, I'm not sure about Bret Michaels. Jan Warwick and Bow Wow, I am 100% sure of actually.
I think whoever the taco is probably a comedian. That's how I'm gonna go. So, although the next two eliminations are going to be very hard because all 5 of them are very good.
I mean, this is the best group so far.
Yeah.
By a mile.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have absolutely no clue who will be in the top 3 here. I think I think it depends on song choice. I mean, because that's what I think killed Tony Hawk in this episode as well. It was a very like slow song, but when he sang it, I did not even think it was Tony Hawk. I wasn't even in the mind of Tony Hawk.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, we've said in the past, you know, if you pick the wrong song, it could end up getting you out, and who knows? It very well might. We'll have to wait and see. So, we will have. I'm looking on this on Wikipedia. We will have a guest celebrity judge for the next episode.
Yeah, because I actually missed that having in this episode. I kind of missed having a 5th person there.
It will be Gabriel Iglesias, a.k.a. Fluffy.
Yeah, I like him.
And the following week, Season 1 winner T-Pain will join them.
Nice.
I like T-Pain, so...
Yeah, he's very funny.
Yeah. Let's talk about real quick WWE Hall of Fame. They have not announced any new inductees yet for the Hall of Fame.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that they're doing it like this. This is a very, 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 very smart way of doing it.
However, there have been rumors of who could be going in this year. So far, the rumors, the different names that I've heard, the Bella Twins. Yeah, I know, but it's going to happen. It's eventually going to happen.
Do you know what? I will be so fucking pissed if the Bella Twins go into the Hall of Fame before The Undertaker.
Well, Undertaker's not an active wrestler.
Is he though?
Tell the man to retire.
I mean, is he really?
Technically.
Like, we had this discussion before, but let's do it now. Will The Undertaker have a match at WrestleMania this year?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
How sure are you?
I'd go 90%.
Really? That high?
Because of the promo that AJ Styles cut on Raw Monday night.
It was a very good promo.
It was.
Right? I have a feeling as well that it will be. I am not as sure as you. I'm at 70% right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But it really looks like it.
Right.
So tell the audience a little about that promo.
Okay, so yeah, real quick. AJ Styles comes back to Raw. It's the first time since the Royal Rumble. And he talks about WrestleMania and how when he performs at WrestleMania, you know, he is one of the best all-around performers at WrestleMania. And how he's better than all the legends. He's better than everybody else. It's a really good heel promo.
It is a very good heel promo.
And to his credit, he has a good point. I mean, the 4 WrestleManias he's been in, he's had good to very good matches.
But it's very clearly that he's calling out
somebody.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, it has to be Undertaker. So
I was thinking, like, who else would it be? The Rock, maybe it could be Shawn Michaels. It could be
right.
Triple H, maybe.
I don't think it's going to be Triple H.
It could be. I said.
No, I know.
I'm just saying, like, the way he did the promo, it's kind of general.
We'll have to wait and see what we get on that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to the Hall of Fame. Bella Twins is a rumor. Jushin Thunder Liger could be going in this year.
I would be happy to see that.
I would be very happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
JBL is another name that I've heard for the Hall of Fame this year. And the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, could finally be going in this year. And he deserves it, too. Of course, like I said, none of these have been confirmed. They're just rumors, but those are the names that I've heard that could be going in this year for the WWE Hall of Fame. Is there, besides the Bellas, is there anyone that you would take out?
No.
You'd leave it at the others? All right. I'd agree with you on that.
I mean, I think the only thing the Bella Twins should get is chlamydia, so.
Wow. Well, they're both pregnant, so.
Fro is so nice.
Wow. Good Lord. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Damn. Yeah, I know. Now the Bellas are supposed to be on SmackDown tonight. So I'm thinking that's going to be where they make the announcement.
Tell me. Not reason not to watch SmackDown this week. But talking about last week's SmackDown, it was okay.
Actually, I'll tell you, the Otis Mandy saga is getting better and better.
It is.
It really is.
Do you think that will end at WrestleMania?
Ooh. Maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm still waiting to see Rusev and Lashley end at WrestleMania, but the way it's looking right now, I don't think that'll happen.
Right.
So.
No, it doesn't look like that at all, actually.
So, we'll have to wait and see. And I didn't get a chance to watch this yet. I probably will when we're done today. NWA, they had a brand new show, The Circle Squared. It's only about 20 minutes. I know it's on YouTube. Basically, it is Tough Enough, but instead of it being a group competition, it's sort of like Gut Check when TNA used to do that. So, check it out, see what you think. And who knows? Maybe we got something new that we'll watch every time it comes on. All right, Fro. This next segment is going to be a lot more entertaining than Wednesday's Democratic debate in Nevada.
Oh, I had so much fun.
Because
that debate was on fire.
because
I loved it.
It is week 2 of Wrestling with Politics. And for those of you that don't know what we're doing here, we are ranking the 6 U.S. presidents that have been in office since WrestleMania began in 1985. And we're not ranking these presidents based on what they did while in office. We are ranking the WrestleManias that they had while in the White House. And ultimately, we will decide which president had the best era of WrestleMania. So, Fro, could you give everyone a quick reminder of our list of, well, who's number 1 right now?
A man called Obama.
Yes, Barack Obama was our first name that was spun last week. So he is currently number 1. There's nobody behind him right now. But in just a moment, I'm going to spin the wheel. And it's going to land on a name. And we will take a look at what WrestleManias they had. And we'll decide, Fro and I have to agree on this, if they had a better term as far as WrestleManias go than Obama did. So, Fro, are you ready for me to spin the wheel?
I am.
All right, here we go. This is week 2 of Wrestling with Politics. Wheel is slowing down. All right, this week we will be talking about George W. Bush. George W. Bush is the 43rd President of the United States of America. Won it in a very controversial fashion over Al Gore back in 2000. My God, those were fun days, that election. He took office on January 20th, 2001. Served 2 terms while in office. In his re-election, he defeated, as the incumbent, he defeated John Kerry for 4 more years in the White House. So, we will go from his first WrestleMania as president all the way to his last. And, well, he begins with a very strong one. Some call it the best WrestleMania ever, WrestleMania 17.
That is a good one.
That has Steve Austin and The Rock as the main event, plus the second TLC match. We had the Gimmick Battle Royal. We had Vince and Shane McMahon, and The Undertaker facing Triple H for the first time. So, right off the bat, George W. Bush is got a very strong WrestleMania in his pocket.
I would agree.
The following year, WrestleMania 18, Toronto, had the main event of Triple H against Chris Jericho for the WWF title, but also had Hulk Hogan versus The Rock on that show. Plus we had Ric Flair against The Undertaker in a street fight, as my mom is coughing away. And we also had Steve Austin against Scott Hall. Not as good as 17, but it's still a good WrestleMania for Rock and Hogan and the street fight, I believe. Then we go to WrestleMania 19. This is the first one where they have the brand split. The main event for that WrestleMania is Brock Lesnar against Kurt Angle for the WWE title. We also have Hulk Hogan against Vince McMahon in a street fight. Triple H defending the world title against Booker T. The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin Part 3. And Shawn Michaels' first WrestleMania match in 5 years against Chris Jericho. Just those 5 alone make this a really good WrestleMania. Then we go to WrestleMania 20, where it all begins again in New York City. The main event was the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit, an all-time classic match. Excuse me. We also have Eddie Guerrero defending the WWE title against Kurt Angle. We also have a 3-on-2 handicap match, Evolution against the Rock and Sock Connection. And we have the infamous Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match with guest referee Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, those fans gave them such hard shit. Oh, man, it was funny.
No wonder.
Then we go into the second term of George W. Bush, WrestleMania 21. The main event there is Triple H defending the World Heavyweight title against Batista. We also have JBL defending the WWE title against John Cena. We have Kurt Angle against Shawn Michaels in an outstanding match. The Undertaker against Randy Orton. And also the first Money in the Bank ladder match. Then we go to WrestleMania 22, where the main event there is John Cena defending the WWE title against Triple H. Plus, we have a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title. Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, and Randy Orton. Shawn Michaels against Vince McMahon in a street fight. You notice we have a lot of street fights in George W. Bush's WrestleManias. Maybe George W. likes street fights. Who knows? And we have Edge and Mick Foley in a hardcore match.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have WrestleMania 23, where it was all grown up.
Was it, though?
I know. I just had to put it out there. Main event for that show, John Cena defending the WWE title against Shawn Michaels. Plus, we had The Undertaker against Batista for the World Heavyweight title.
That is maybe one of my least favorite Undertaker matches ever.
That's interesting, because I actually like that match, to be honest.
Okay.
Plus, we have another Money in the Bank ladder match, a very good one. And, of course, the Battle of the Billionaires, Bobby Lashley versus Umaga, Steve Austin, the guest referee, Vince McMahon in the corner of Umaga, and future president, and someday his name will land on the wheel, Donald Trump, in the corner of Bobby Lashley. And finally, WrestleMania 24 has The Undertaker against Edge as the main event for the World Heavyweight title. Randy Orton defending the WWE title in a triple threat match against John Cena and Triple H. Big Show against Floyd Mayweather. And Ric Flair's quote-unquote retirement match against Shawn Michaels. Whew. 8 eventful WrestleManias. Fro, I'm going to make the argument here that George W. Bush should actually go ahead of Obama on this one.
Let me count.
I'll make my argument.
Okay.
Well, Bush starts off with perhaps the greatest WrestleMania of all time. I don't have it as my...
One of the best.
Right, yeah. It is one of the best. 17. Then he gets the following year, Hogan and Rock, which...
Right.
The previous year you would have never thought would have happened. 19 is a good WrestleMania. It's sort of a showcase of the young talent that they have.
Right. I think one of the reasons why I don't like 18, this is me personally, like I didn't want to see The Rock and
Hogan.
Okay. Like, me, that wasn't a very special main event.
Right. No, that's understandable.
I'm not a very big fan of 18.
Right.
19, I like better, to be honest.
Okay. 20, you just have a jam-packed card from beginning to end. It's a fun show to watch. And I will always defend the main event of 20 as one of the greatest main events in WrestleMania history. It was unbelievable, like, to see it live on TV.
I would agree.
21 is the beginning of the Cena era, the Batista era, and you have Angle and Michaels in a classic. 22, you have Mick Foley finally getting his WrestleMania moment. Rey Mysterio wins the world title for Eddie, and John Cena has the match that really says, we're sticking with this guy, he's our top guy. 23 is basically the Battle of the Billionaires, but you have a great main event in Cena and Michaels. That was a fantastic match. I love that match. Of course, it would be topped a few weeks later in England. And then 24, you have maybe the greatest retirement match of all time with Michaels and Flair.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, because we went through the WrestleManias that happened during Obama's administration. Obama had like 1 or 2 good WrestleManias.
He had 2 amazing WrestleManias though. I think what kills my vote for Bush, and this is my argument, I think Bush has one of the best WrestleManias. Okay. You can count that against one of Obama's best. Had one of the WrestleManias. So let's say they are on the same side there. I think the quality of the rest of the WrestleManias, that is, I do think one of the worst WrestleManias of all time is in Obama's.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Would I say that the quality of the matches that is underneath, like one of the best WrestleManias, are enough to beat 2 of the best WrestleManias in Obama's period? That's where I come and make an argument.
I think, for me, because ultimately you and I have to reach an agreement on this.
Right. I agree.
Right. And folks, it's not going to be violent. It's not going to be cutthroat. No. We're making this a very gentlemanlike agreement once we come up with it. I think with Bush's WrestleManias, to me, what wins me over Obama is the variety of matches we get in all 8 of those WrestleManias. Because if you think of Obama's term and the WrestleManias that he has, I mean, he has good WrestleManias. We both said 30 is an all-timer. It is an all-time classic.
Mm-hmm.
My only problem is 25 and 26, we get Undertaker and Shawn Michaels back-to-back. Not saying that's a problem, but if you're comparing, the 2, you have Undertaker wrestling Shawn Michaels twice. And then you have Undertaker wrestling Triple H twice. And then you have Cena and Rock wrestling twice. There's no real variety of matches for those WrestleManias for the most part. Whereas with George W. Bush's term as president, I mean, my God, I don't think you see the same match twice in 2 consecutive WrestleManias. And I think it's refreshing. It's different. It makes it good. It makes it fun to watch. That's going to be my main argument.
I buy that, and that's why I would vote for. It's by here though. It isn't much, but I would agree with you that Bush wins it then.
All right, then we're going to officially make this officially.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations to George W. Bush. You are our new number 1. You have the greatest era of WrestleMania ever. from WrestleMania 17 to WrestleMania 24. And Barack Obama goes to number 2. I'll be honest, I thought, depending on who it would have landed on, I thought Obama would have been up a little bit longer at number 1, but it did not happen. So we will spin the wheel next week, and we'll land on another name, and we'll take a look at their WrestleManias. All right, now it is time to talk about NXT Takeover Portland, which took place this past Sunday night. First time a takeover took place on a Sunday, which is very interesting. Portland, New York is the location for this event. No pre-show match.
I was very happy to see that.
Although we did get Poppy performing, which sort of her outfit sort of freaked me out. So.
Well, like I said on the Patreon podcast that you can listen to for $3, I thought this went on too long.
Right, the concert you're referring to,
yeah. 2 songs was 1 song too much.
So what we're going to do here, we're going to talk about each match. I also have Fro's grades here because Fro thought he would forget what grade he gave the matches, so I have them here. We're also going to go through...
I totally forgot.
We'll go through Meltzer's ratings and also CBS Sports and ESPN. So, our opening match is for the NXT North American title, Keith Lee defending against Dominik Dijakovic. It's a good match. It is. In the beginning, it's a little bit sloppy, and it takes a while. I think you can see the sloppiness a lot in the beginning, and that, for me, hurts its grade overall. But once they get going, they are on fire. They are tremendous.
It's a good match.
It is.
I think it's a very good opening match.
I think the moment for me that made me, it was like, this is a really good match. Dijakovic does that swanton and hits Lee on where he's sitting on the chair. And if he misses, like he's very close. Like if he misses, he's going back first into the corner of the announce table. That's how close it was. A couple of near falls after big moves. Dijakovic hits a Spanish fly from the top rope. Keith Lee hits a power bomb. Can't really get the 3 count. Dijakovic tries for Feast Your Eyes, but can't quite get it. Keith Lee gets a jackhammer and pins Dijakovic to retain the North American title. I agree with you. I thought this was a very solid opening match to this show. I gave it a B. Fro, you gave it a B-.
I did.
And I think you and we both agreed that the reason for our grades was because of the sloppiness in the beginning.
Yeah, it was a very sloppy match in the beginning. A little too sloppy in my point of view.
Right. Okay, Meltzer gave this match 4.25 stars. CBS Sports gave this an A+.
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah.
They saw another match than I did then.
I believe they did. And ESPN gave it 4.5 out of 5.
Wow! That is freaking high.
It is. Next match is the street fight, Tegan Nox against Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai attacks Nox as she's coming towards the ring. That's how the match starts. They go through the crowd, they fight, they get in the ring, and that's where the fun really begins. Dakota Kai at one point pulls out a cricket bat, because, you need a cricket bat for a street fight. She misses. We get tables, we get chairs, we get trash cans, we get trash can lids involved in this. At one point, Dakota Kai hits Tegan Nox so hard over the head with the trash can lid, I thought Nox had a concussion. I really did. And then Nox hits a German suplex on top of a trash can, and Kai's head hits the trash can. It basically bends the trash can. Then they go to the outside. Dakota Kai ties up Tegan Nox with duct tape, and she hits her a few times, and then she grabs a laptop. I mean, let's be honest, the innovation in this match was really good, because when have you ever seen a cricket bat in a street fight? When have you ever seen a laptop in a street fight?
Yeah, no, I like this much more than you. I think I surprised you a little when we were talking about this on the Patreon podcast that you can listen to on Patreon. Yeah, because I remember what grade I gave this. I gave this an A.
Did you?
I think so. Didn't I?
No, because of the ending of the match.
Oh yeah,
because the ending of the match.
Right.
Because this is a
ending.
This is a really good match until we get to the end.
That's right.
Kai is on top of the table. Tegan Nox.
You remind me of that now. Yeah.
Tegan Nox climbs the top rope. All of a sudden, here comes Rachel Gonzalez. Who? Exactly. No offense to Miss Gonzalez. She pushes Nox off the ropes. She tries to powerbomb her through the table. Nox hits the back of her head on the table, puts Kai over. 1, 2, 3. Dakota Kai wins the match. This was a fun match. I wasn't a fan of the ending, and it hurts its grade a little bit as well. I gave it a B.
Yeah.
You gave it a C, and it was because of the ending of the match.
Yeah, I forgot the ending because that destroyed it.
Yeah. Meltzer gave this 3 stars. CBS Sports came down to earth and gave it a B. Actually, I'll read this sentence from CBS Sports. This was a tremendous match bordering on an A- grade, ruined by the finish. Not because of interference, but due to Gonzalez being a near-complete unknown to the crowd. I mean, they're right. ESPN gave it 3.5 out of 5. Next match is Finn Balor against Johnny Gargano. This is another very good match. You get a very good mixture here of technical wrestling, high-flying wrestling. Each guy mocks the other. It's a very good, very solid match. Both men come off looking great. Finn Balor gets the win after hitting the coup de grace and then the 1916 DDT. I really enjoyed this match. I gave it an A-.
Yeah. What did I give it?
This is the one where you gave it an A.
Yes, I gave it an A.
And it really does deserve it. It really does.
I do think so, yeah.
Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A-. And ESPN gave it a 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Next match is for the NXT Women's title, Bianca Belair challenging Rhea Ripley. This was the match I think you and I, Fro, we were the most interested in, just because to see if Belair had improved in a title match situation from a year ago.
And oh boy!
She did.
Oh boy! Oh
boy! This was a really good match. Belair is really starting to come out on her own. She really is. These two have good chemistry together. They really didn't get a lot of time, but I think they're going to have, maybe down the line they'll have future matches and they'll have really good matches. Belair does a dive. Ripley has her power. She's really showing it in this match. Both look very good, but in the end, Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide to retain the women's title. I gave this a B+. If it had gotten a little bit more time, it might have gotten in the higher grade.
Yeah, I give an A+ too.
Yeah, you gave it an A+.
I really love this.
After the match, Charlotte Flair attacks Rhea Ripley and accepts the challenge for WrestleMania, so officially there is match number 2. I thought the post-match was done well, so we know we're going to get Ripley and Charlotte for WrestleMania. Meltzer rated this 3.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A-. ESPN gave it 3.25 out of 5. Next match for the NXT Tag Team titles, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defending against Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. And oh look, Dunne and Riddle are coming out in a golf cart.
That was fun.
Of course, Matt Riddle has a tongue twister about Bobby Fish. They fight on the coming down the aisle. That's how the match starts. The match is very interesting in how it's told really in 2 parts, I thought. The first part was Fish and O'Reilly going after Dunne, going after the leg. And then when Dunne gets the tag to Matt Riddle, that's where the second part comes in, which is going after Matt Riddle. And I thought they did a really good job in doing that. You had near falls, near submissions. Riddle and Dunne accidentally hit each other a couple times. But the end of the match, Riddle and Dunne both hit big kicks. And we have new NXT Tag Team Champions in Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. I gave this a B. You gave it a D+.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to explain why?
Yeah, this did not work for me.
Right.
I just didn't like it. I liked my grade.
Right.
Said I just didn't buy this. It was something about the chemistry there that it just didn't work for me.
All right. Meltzer gave this match 4 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A. ESPN gave it 3.25 out of 5. And then we go to the main event of this show. Adam Cole defending the NXT title against Tommaso Ciampa. What a fantastic main event this was. You had a slow beginning, but a good slow beginning, and then the action really picks up. It's a lot of body work, a lot of fighting outside the ring, a lot of going on the table, a lot of great chemistry with these two. I would pay to see these two wrestle again. At one point, Adam Cole tries for the Panama, sunset flip powerbomb, but gets caught, and he goes into the apron, which, of course, is the hardest part of the ring. And then later, Ciampa takes a wheelbarrow suplex, hits the back of his head on the announcer's table. It's absolute bedlam. It's chaos. Roderick Strong gets involved. O'Reilly and Fish get involved. But it's not going to stop Ciampa from winning the title. He's doing everything he can, but can only get a 2 count. The referee gets knocked out by accident. Ciampa hits the fairy tale ending. He's got at least a 13 count on Adam Cole. but there's no referee. Roderick Strong brings the belt in, but neither man can really get to it. And then when Ciampa finally goes for the belt, here's Johnny Gargano on the outside of the ring. He grabs the belt, looks at the belt, and hits Ciampa with it. And Cole just crawls over and gets the 1, 2, 3 to retain the NXT title. An amazing match.
I loved it. I just loved it.
We both gave it an A+.
Just loved it. Amazing match.
Meltzer gave this 4 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave this an A. And ESPN gave it 4 3/4 out of 5. And that is NXT Takeover Portland. So, Fro, if you had to give this show a grade, what would the grade be?
An A. Definitely an A.
Yeah, I'd agree with you and a lot of other people here. I'd have to give this an A. This was a great show from beginning to end. I mean, there isn't a terrible match on the card. But yeah, I agree with you, and I agree with the majority of our people who did the poll, gave this an A. Some people gave it a B, and one person gave this an F. Do not ask me why. This person just did. Favorite match from TakeOver. Fro, what's your choice?
I have to go with the women's match. I like that much.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go with the main event. I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah,
That
is my second.
Very good match. It's a very close race between the women's title match, the main event, and Dijakovic and Keith Lee as best match of the show on our Facebook group. So, that's going to do it for us for this week. Let's do the plugs. Pluggity plug. If you have any questions or comments, send an email, wrestlingman@thatwrestlingshow.com. Follow the show on Twitter @WrestlingShow11. Follow the show on Instagram. It is @ThatWrestlingShow. Join our Facebook group, That Wrestling Show fan group. You type that in the search bar. You're right there. If you can't find it, it's okay. I post the link in the description of each and every episode. Visit the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, and check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/thatwrestlingshow. Fro, what did you guys discuss this week on Another Digital Citizen?
We talked about the most talked about conspiracy right now. Is Pete Buttigieg in the CIA? Question mark.
I don't know. That's a very good, interesting question there. Guess we'll find out never.
Oh, we talk about it on the podcast.
Right.
We grade it on the crazy scale.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's mention some other podcasts you guys should check out. Check out our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn. They take you through the world of retro wrestling as only they can. This week, they discuss in Influences Piper's Pit, plus Week 3 of the Royal Rankings of the Best Managers, and they review an episode of WWF Superstars of Wrestling from the day before WrestleMania 5. And speaking of WrestleMania 5, because we're such good friends with Joe and Michael, we're going to give them a shout out to their Patreon page, because if you donate, if you pledge $5 right now, you will get their review of WrestleMania 5. It came out this week. It's their longest review yet. I'm not even done with the review yet. I've still got like another 2 hours to go on their review of WrestleMania 5. So check out their Patreon, Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast. Also, check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. This week, Brian Malonis hosts it because, well, Mike Crockett and Brian Fury weren't here for the show this week. So, we get Mike Crockett's worst moments. Yep, Mike Crockett's worst moments. You're going to have to listen to some of the stuff that Mike Crockett has done on the 199 episodes of the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. You're not going to believe it, but it actually happened. Also, check out Greetings from Allentown with PW Peter Winston. He watches one episode of professional wrestling in his own unique way and talks about a lot of things, sports, cats, you name it, he talks about it. This week, he reviews an episode of Memphis Wrestling from April 28, 1984. If you're looking for non-wrestling related podcasts, check out Unspooled with Paul and Amy. They watch each movie from AFI's list of the 100 greatest movies of all time, the 2007 edition. This week, they're taking a break from the list because they discuss Parasite.
Ooh.
And Fro,
you love that movie. Yes.
I watched it last weekend.
Oh, what did you think?
I freaking loved it.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, it is so great. You never see the ending coming. You really don't.
I love the ending.
Oh my god, it's so good.
We're not going to spoil it.
No, we're not. But I can tell you that movie is movie number 56 of Best Picture winners that I have seen in my life. So,
nice.
And there's 92 of them, so I'm 36 movies away. So I'm getting there. But check out Unspooled. Also check out Last Stop Penn Station with Carrie Silken and Ian Riccaboni. You go into the mind, the life of Carrie Silken. This week, he's got 2 episodes. We have a bonus episode where Carrie talks about living in Jersey City. Oh boy, that sounds like a lot of fun. And then the main show, he talks about Ring of Honor going to England and the stories there. So check out Last Stop Penn Station. And finally, check out Sharks Pond, a South Park podcast, where I review each and every South Park episode. This week, we're on a little bit of a quest, because this week's episode is Quest for Ratings. That is on Sharks Pond, a South Park podcast. Alright, next week on the show, we are going to preview AEW's Revolution pay-per-view. Plus, we're going to do another week of Wrestling with Politics, the wrestling news, and who knows what else we're going to talk about next week. It should be pretty fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode and come back next week for another episode of That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as always,
wrestle on?
Yeah, wrestle on.
Oh, good.